It's me, Robert Altman, back at it again with a new episode of the Boy Time Podcast. And as always, I'm joined by Babby.
Uh,
We have a fun and exciting episode planned, as always. Just a normal episode. But frankly, I love the normal episodes, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Not everything can be as spectacular.
That's right. Sometimes you need to establish the formula so then you can break from it and create fun and exciting episodes.
Exactly.
Yes. So this is a formula episode. So strap in. You're getting what you usually get. You worms. Because worms like eating shit and other stuff.
Like us.
Yeah. This is a fun video podcast, I think. But yeah, I haven't really watched a lot of movies this week. I watched one, and I don't really know if I completely understand it, but I'm going to attempt to talk about it. I watched the hit 1992 Robert Altman film The Player, and I was going to pair it with the movie The Game, so then I could say don't hate the player, hate the game, if the game sucked. But unfortunately, it's not on anything, so never mind. It would have been funny, but maybe next time. But The Player is a great film starring Tim Robbins of Shawshank Redemption fame. I feel like that's pretty much it. What else has he been in? Tim Robbins. I think it's just that. I'm going to go on record and say that he's only been in one film, and it's Shawshank Redemption. So
Can't possibly be wrong.
I would say so. He plays Andy Dufresne in Shawshank Redemption. And now he's playing a greedy, swarmy little rat of a studio executive working in unnamed studio in Hollywood, California. And he is very evil, and he basically hates writers. He thinks they're all schmucks. And I guess one time he pissed off a writer so bad that writer went insane and started sending Tim Robbins a bunch of postcards that all say, "You're going to die. I'm going to kill you. Tim Robbins, I hate you personally. You are the bane of all writers everywhere, and I'm going to kill you for that." So he starts taking it not well, as you can probably imagine. But he's also still an evil man. So he tries to track down the writer that did it, but he got the wrong writer. And just for no reason, he murders him. So it's it's interesting. It's like a murder mystery where we're watching The Murderer. It feels very similar to an American Psycho. We're watching a super greedy rich guy, and then he murders people. But except this time, he's actually being pursued by the law. And of course, the big bad cop that's chasing him is played by Whoopsie Goldberg. So you know that the cops mean business, because Whoopsie's never made a bad film. And she's on The View, which is
Best show ever made.
yeah, which is a point for Whoopsie, I think. And she was in the Tim and Eric as Whoopsie Goldberg. She had her own show on that,
Real.
which is really funny. So that's the basic plot synopsis of The Player. But what's interesting about this movie is that it's directed by Robert Altman. Now, all the Zoomers and Gen Alphas in the audience are saying, "Who?" Well, I'll tell you. He was an auteur filmmaker in the 70s, known for very natural conversational dialogue. A lot of times characters talk over each other. There's multiple conversations happening at the same time, and then we're basically in the same shot, and then the audio kind of switches between the two. It's very it's kind of disorienting and odd the first time you watch a film of his, but you kind of you get hip to it. This was the first one that I've seen of him, and I knew that going in, so I was like prepared, but it is a little confusing, and it especially is super confusing when the first 10 minutes of the movie is one shot, and it is like all that, where we are like constantly bouncing between like, dozens of characters all having different conversations, and we're jumping in at different points in each of the conversations as the camera's just kind of swiveling around. It's honestly an achievement. It might be like one of the most impressive shots I've ever seen. Um, I think it's even better than the Goodfellas one, and that's like the classic example of like a perfect one shot. But I don't know. This one was pretty cheating epic. And another nice thing about this film is that there's just a bunch of people playing themselves. And I could list them all off, but I don't know if anybody under the age of 40 is going to recognize half of these names because it's mostly people in Hollywood that were active in the 60s and 70s. There's a couple people that people would probably recognize, but like Burt Reynolds shows up just like randomly. Malcolm McDowell is there. Gary Busey, who's probably most known for his appearance in the film Quigley. I'm going to use that anytime Oz Perkins and Gary Busey comes up in conversation, by the way. I hope you're not too upset.
It's needed.
I think so. Next time you're in town, we're going to watch Quigley, by the way.
Great.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. Harry Belafonte is in this movie. And I don't know. I'm looking through this list. Oh, Bruce Willis. I think, who is it? Frick. She's in Ocean's 11. The lady that likes George Clooney. I can't think of her name. This is very embarrassing. What's her name? I guess this really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Julia Roberts. That's it. She's in this film. And Jack Lemmon. That one's probably less known, but whatever. The point of the story is that there's a bunch of celebrities in this movie and they're all playing themselves, and like throughout the entirety of the movie they're referencing other movies. Like I think the first like conversation of the first shot we get is someone pitching Evil Tim Robbins like The Graduate 2, and then he's like going through the plot synopsis. And as someone who has not seen the original The Graduate, I was very confused. But it didn't really matter because then it switched perspectives to a different person. So it was fine. But there's like a bunch of that because he's a guy who gets scripts pitched to him. So it's a lot of like, this is the Poseidon Adventure meets Airplane or whatever, which I guess is a bad example because those are both like funny disaster movies. It's the Poseidon Adventure meets Sunset Boulevard. I don't even know what that would look like, but it would be fun, I think. And so it's very clear that this takes place in the real world. Oh, and like other studios are mentioned too. The specific studio that we're like following isn't, but they're like, oh, if we don't pick this script up, then who knows? MGM or TriStar or Paramount is going to get their grubby little mitts on it, and we don't want that. Which I don't even know if you could really do that. I mean, you probably could do that today. I don't know if anyone in like an A24 movie would like just straight up mention Warner Brothers or Disney. They wouldn't say Disney or Marvel or the Star Wars in an A24 film, probably. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting. But I think this was like, just judging off the general vibe of this movie, I have to imagine that it probably didn't cost very much. And if I had to guess, it was probably self financed because I can't imagine any studio putting their name on this. Um, but it's fun. It's a fun little movie about evil Tim Robbins doing a murder and getting away with it. Because I think at this point, this was early 90s. Robert Altman was really active in the 70s. The only other movie like I recognize in his catalog is Popeye, the one with Robin Williams as Popeye and Shelley Duvall as Olive Oil, which is probably the best cast film in history. Um, but so yeah, whatever. He got his start in the 70s and now it's the 90s. He had to sit through the big commercial blockbusters of the 80s and even entering the early 90s, you had stuff like Batman 89 like coming out recently and like Jurassic Park. And I think Robert Altman was seeing that compared to like when he was in his heyday where everyone was sad and depressed and miserable and producing like really low budget, artsy, independent auteur films. And I think he got very cynical, which is based, I think, because I like those movies from the 70s more than the big blockbusters of the 80s anyway. And so it's like just dripping with cynicism the whole time, where it just you can tell that Robert Altman has hate pumping through his veins towards every Hollywood executive. So it's kind of fun to watch that, but it's not fun when like he gets away with it and then like he like succeeds and has like a happy ending. And I'm like, oh, Robert Altman is like even cynical about the whole premise of the movie. Like he can't even like have a movie where he's like making it about this evil studio exec and then like he gets his revenge in a way of like showing him getting caught and stripped of all of his power and then he's like brought down to the ground. That's what I would do if I was angry with the studios. But he, in his film, had him get away with it and succeed, which is probably more accurate to how it would actually go down. But I don't know. It's not as satisfying a story, I think. Not that it needs to be satisfying. But I don't know. This is a movie I didn't really love. I didn't really hate it. I didn't, I didn't not like it. But it was just kind of odd. The whole time I felt like I don't even know if I'm really understanding what the point of this is. Which is probably a point to me being pretty dumb, but that's okay. I like being dumb and I like myself and who I am. So don't even try to tear me down because I'm riding on sunshine right now. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Check this movie out. It's fun and interesting, and I think I watched it on Max, if that is correct. That is correct. Okay, yes. And maybe watch the game too. I don't know if it's any good, but it has Michael Douglas in it, and I like him. And the poster is his face and puzzle pieces getting taken out of his face, and it looks kind of weird and interesting. I probably would like it, but frankly, I can't. Not legally, anyway, and I am a law abiding citizen. I took an oath to serve this country, goddammit, and I'm not going to break any laws.
And it's true.
It is true. Yeah, I had to swear fealty to the United States government to be a mailman,
You.
which I think is pretty fun. You could call me a Fed.
I do.
Oh. Well, you've never done it to my face because I don't.
Oh, I feel like I have. Maybe you're just blocking it out.
Maybe. I don't like that kind of talk because I would never do a coup in Cambodia or whatever.
Don't turn me in.
I would never. I'm not ICE.
Not yet.
Not yet. I have been applying for other jobs, and none of them have been for ICE. There's a lot of jobs for COs that are on the internet, and they pay very well. But I said,
I'm sure
no.
they do.
Yeah, it was like 28 an hour just starting.
Crazy.
But I'm like, I'm not going to work for a prison industrial complex. I won't do it, and you can't make me. Also, I can't imagine myself working in a prison.
I couldn't either.
Yeah. I think I would let all the prisoners go buck wild, and I would get fired.
You'd be the best for them.
Yeah.
But then you'd get fired.
I have a real laissez-faire attitude
Yeah.
when it comes to stuff.
Whatever.
As long as they aren't killing each other, I don't
Yeah,
care.
exactly.
Yeah.
Just play nice.
Play nice. Maybe let me bum a cigarette every once in a while. I'm very open to bribes. That's what I'll say. But not like in a corrupt way, because I'm not going to like turn you in if you don't give me a bribe. I would just like gifts.
Just a chill guy like that.
Yeah. Basically what it comes down to is that I would like just some attention every once in a while. Someone to think about me for a little bit.
Exactly.
So that's kind of my angle as a CO. Maybe I should reach out to Rick Ross and ask how he did it, because maybe he would have some tips. I
mean, he's a big rapper, so
that's true.
he had to do something right.
That's true. Do you think he made connections in prison to the rap game?
I doubt it.
Was he a CO when Diddy was in prison?
No.
Was he a CO when Snoop Dogg was in prison?
They were all in Miami prison.
Yeah, they got transferred to a high security.
Makes sense to me.
I think so. I don't know where Rick Ross worked.
I think it was Miami.
Oh, it would have been sick if it was like an insane asylum.
It might have been like North Carolina or something. I don't know.
Oh,
I forgot.
I don't know anything about Rick Ross.
Oh.
Except he did a diss track where Drake was in whiteface. Is that right?
He did do that, yeah.
Yeah, it was just like a Photoshop picture of Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty funny. And he owns Wingstop.
He does, yes.
Yeah.
And his cameo in the Vince Staples show is my favorite.
Well, of course.
He's talking about owning chickens, and it's hilarious.
Well, isn't that true?
Potentially.
Is Rick Ross the rapper that bought a cow and started an animal sanctuary?
I think he might be.
Okay. Then he probably does have chickens. Let me see. Yeah, Rick Ross got a cow. This was 2 years ago. I like all of the headlines are just Rick Ross is excited after buying his first cow. I would be too. Cows are like cute.
They are.
That's what I'll say. If I could be a farmer, I would just have cows to be friends with. Just chill. I wouldn't even milk them.
We're just in it for the love of the game.
Yeah. I guess I wouldn't make any money from that. But I would have like 20,000 chickens in one small enclosed area so I can get all the eggs. But me and the cows are chill.
Yeah, of course.
I think that's a good balance. It's like offsetting my carbon footprint, but it's offsetting my ethical I don't even know what that would be. My moral code? Offsetting my moral code?
Yeah, sure.
That's a word for it, I think. I think that's pretty much all I have to say about the player. I'm not very passionate either way about it, but it is kind of weird and interesting. But Io Adibri gave it 5 stars, so I don't know. She's probably seeing something in it that I didn't. She's the only one of the people I follow that's seen it. So, shout out Io Adibri. I loved you in
everything.
and everything. What was she? Was she in a little? No, she was in Tyler music video.
Tyler video. Yeah.
Wasn't I thought I saw her in like something that's going to happen soon. It wasn't Little
I
Sims, was
thought
it?
so too, but I don't remember. I don't think it was Little Sims.
Was it Drake? Was she in a Drake music video?
No.
Oh,
God, no.
I would hope not, but I would just
I think
ask.
she knows better than that.
I would think so. I'm going to extend the open invitation for Iowa Debris to come on the show.
Really.
We could talk about a movie that she likes.
So much.
Yeah.
So many questions.
I wouldn't even ask her any. This is not an interview show. I think we would just talk about a movie together.
That works.
What if she does a Boy Time Presents on, I don't know, The Wizard of Oz?
No, Wizard of Oz.
Or
Wicked.
yeah. Well, I don't know. That's too recent. I don't want to get her in any hot
That's
water
true.
with the studios. Let's watch like Dog Day Afternoon with Al Pacino, and we'll we'll talk about it and get really sad. Or we could talk about her film Bottoms.
That's true.
We could.
It's self-referential.
Yeah. I don't know what we would say about it. It's a very good movie, but what would we? I like the part where the gay girls fight each other. That's like the whole movie. I guess I would
Literally.
ask. I would ask her deep behind the scenes questions, like, "Did you kiss each other on set?"
Just make it really awkward.
Yeah, that's what I would ask. Did you have
So,
it?
are the kissing scenes real?
Were there any on-set flings? Any of the actors ever go out with each other? And if so, do you have any videos of them kissing that you could send me? That's the kind of questions that I would ask.
Yeah, it's
So-
like an Adam 22 for movies.
So it's probably good that this isn't an interview show. I'm going to start watching Elvis movies, and I think I'm going to be doing that next week.
Elvis Summer.
An Elvis Spring.
Okay.
I don't know when I'm going to start Simeon Summer 2, / if I'm going to start Simeon Summer 2. I've been thinking of movies, and thankfully 3 movies have come out since Simeon Summer
Yeah, exactly.
1. I could talk about The Monkey, which is in theaters right now, or A Better Man, or there was another monkey movie we were talking about. What was it?
Yeah, I forgot what it was.
Frick. Whatever. It wasn't Planet of the Apes.
I don't think so.
I hope they never make another Planet of the Apes movie. I'm okay. I don't need any more. But I do like monkeys, so I think it'd be fun to bring it back. Maybe I'll
Monkeys
watch.
are pretty cool.
Yeah, maybe I'll watch what is it? Any Which Way You Can, which is Clint Eastwood with an orangutan, a sequel to the other Clint Eastwood with an orangutan movie. And then I could watch the Bedtime for Bonzo Squeakquel,
Mm.
because I think there's like a whole cinematic universe. I think there's 3 of them. I don't know if Ronald Reagan is in all of them. But that would be pretty
Ooh,
fun.
Ronald Reagan's Summer Marathon.
I don't want to do that. Elvis somehow is less, well, not somehow. Elvis is far less problematic than Ronald Reagan.
That's true.
And Elvis dated a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
In fact, I think we're going to be getting into that like a lot in his movies, because I've heard there's a lot of scenes where Elvis has to turn down underage girls in his films.
No, mama.
Oh, mama. That's like Johnny Bravo.
That's just how I imagine Elvis in my head.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, I don't know what his first movie is. I know that. Well, let me see. Because he's only in one black and white movie. I think I'm. The first one is Love Me Tender. Well, that's fun. His name is Clint Reno. That's
Interesting.
at the end of the Civil War, a Confederate team is ordered to rob a Union payroll train, but the war ends, leaving these men with their Union loot until the feds come looking for it. Can we talk about why were there so many movies pre 1970 where it was like a Civil War movie, but we're gonna make the protagonists the Confederates?
They love doing that.
What's the deal with that?
I don't know.
It's like everybody and their dad loved Gone with the Wind, and it's all just Confederacy apologetics. Maybe slavery apologetics at that. I don't
Yeah,
get
we
it.
haven't really strayed too far from that, so
Well, I don't know. It would have been weird if like 12 Years a Slave was from the Confederate point of view.
that'd be crazy.
There, there's not a lot of Civil War movies made anymore, I don't think. Was
Yeah,
the
I feel like it's run its course. I don't know if it's needed anymore.
was the last one like Lincoln?
Yeah, probably.
That's not even really a Civil War movie.
No, it's just during the same time period.
Yeah. Huh, I never thought about that. There should be like a good Civil War movie because they're all terrible.
Yeah, I don't know if it's possible.
I'm just kidding. Glory is really good. If you've not seen Glory,
I have not.
that one is about the first black Union platoon.
Mm.
And then I think Matthew Broderick is their like captain,
Yo,
but
I'm in.
it's Morgan Freeman and Denzel Wash.
Oh, okay. That does sound pretty stacked.
Yeah, it's great.
They need to make a John Brown movie.
They should make a John Brown movie. Have they not made a John Brown movie?
I'm sure there might be one out there, but
There's a mini series called The Good Lord Bird.
just make a John Brown movie and make it like John Wick, where it's just like nonstop action.
That's kind of what this looks like. It's Ethan
That
Hawke.
makes sense. Interesting.
I like Ethan Hawke. Oh, 8 months ago, someone posted on Reddit, Quentin Tarantino wants to make a John Brown movie.
I don't want Tarantino touching this. Don't be weird somewhere else.
He already kind of did that. Well, not exactly, but he already did like a abolitionist movie in Django.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't
And
think
that was like exactly where I want him to be.
Yeah.
Don't go any further than that.
Yeah, no, it's fun action schlock. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's great. I hope his next movie is. Well, okay, what do you think his next movie is going to be? Where hasn't he been?
I think he's going to be washed, honestly. I think he's going to have a weekend situation. It's just going to be really mid. He's going to be overthinking it.
I think so. I think that's where he is. And, man, that sucks. His last movie was good, though. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is like.
It was good. I enjoyed it.
That's like.
A lot.
That's like a top 3 of his for me, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even top 2 or top 1. I won't say.
I don't know. He's chilling in Israel. Who cares?
He is?
Yeah.
Why is he chilling in Israel?
I don't know. I don't know if he might have moved there, actually.
What? Why would Quentin Tarantino move to Israel?
I don't know. Makes me sketched out. Is there any allegations you got coming up?
I don't know. Wait, let me just search Tarantino Israel and see what comes up. Quentin Tarantino on his love for Israel and why he won't make a movie about its politics. When was this?
I think it was like a year ago.
Oh. Yeah, he visited a military base in southern Israel to boost the morale of Israeli troops.
Might have signed a bomb. I know people are signing bombs.
He's married to an Israeli singer. Okay, that makes sense.
Many such cases.
Yeah. Well, that sucks. Not that he was a great person before that.
No. Tarantino's like, I really like your movies, but I don't want to like ever see you or hear what you have to say outside of your movies.
No. Yeah. Yep. That- I kind of saw that as soon as he was like sucking the toes of a 12-year-old or whatever.
Yeah,
Speaking of sucking toes of a 12-year-old, did you see the Shrek 5 teaser?
I did. I wanted to make one last joke that I think his 10th movie should be in pre-revolution China, and it's about foot binding, so he gets to shoot as many feet as possible.
Oh, that would be like a body horror movie for him because he
Yeah,
like loves the
you should do
feet.
that.
That's honestly, yeah, pre-revolution China, and then it's about
Uh-huh.
someone that's trying to stop that practice because they believe in the
Yeah.
beauty of feet.
Yeah, they just like make Mao a foot fetishist, and that's his only driving goal to like arm the peasantry in revolution.
Wait, so Quentin Tarantino is making a Mao biopic?
But he just loves feet, and there's no revolutionary politics in it. It's just his love for feet that drives him to do all of it.
Uh, I think I'm okay on that. I would rather not see
That'd be
that.
insane.
If Tarantino made that movie,
That'd be insane.
I think I would pass on that one. Imagine that's your last movie.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
I've been thinking about it for about 10 years now, and I finally decided to come back with my Maoist foot fetish film.
But I take out all the Maoism and replace it with feet.
Yes. And I imply that maybe the Americans could have done it better than Mao because they aren't foot fetishists. That would have been fun. I
It
think.
could happen. Alternate reality.
Yeah. I do like, what is it, the Bandersnatch rules on like the alternate universes where every decision you make splits off.
Yeah.
I like to think that someone pitched Quentin Tarantino that idea in this universe, and he said no. And we're currently living in the aftershock of that decision.
Yeah. The world would be like a utopia if he like made a different decision. Just like the butterfly effect from that.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe Trump would have watched that film and it would have changed him. He would have been a radical. He's
He
like,
became a Maoist and we're in
yeah,
the second cultural revolution.
yeah. Instead of like, going the other direction, he's like, wow, this foot fetish guy, he really speaks to me in a way. Let me see what he was actually about.
The countryside surrounds the city, folks. I've seen it before.
I've seen it before. We've seen it countless times before. We really have. We really have.
Kuomintang, we're kicking them out. They're going away.
So wait, now is Trump in the movie? Maybe he's in the
Well, this would
sequel.
happen hypothetically if he was influenced by this film.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I guess he would kind of be in the movie.
It's like Home Alone 2. He has a little cameo in it. I think I'm okay. I don't need to see this.
It's an interesting rabbit hole. Yeah.
I don't need to see this
But
film.
Shrek 5.
Shrek 5. Yeah. So for those who didn't see it, there was a little teaser trailer where they showed off what Shrek, Donkey, Fiona, and edgy Zendaya ogre. Yeah. Wait, did you say Zendaya?
I don't know.
I think.
I say both.
Well, no, I don't know if the trailer says Zendaya.
Oh, it does.
It says Zendaya, and then like, oh, what? Something
Yeah.
like that.
It's very self-aware. Actually.
Yes, it's very meta. Which they even say "damn" in the teaser,
They do.
and I was like, holy crap, Kendrick is gonna be in this film.
We're bringing back the edge.
Yeah, you know Shrek's gonna call Donkey an ass in this film.
He really is.
The film that is written by the guy who did Trolls World Tour. You know that it's gonna be really edgy and
There's going to be at least
subversive.
one by Felicia in this movie.
Oh, yeah, you're probably right.
I will say, I enjoy the character designs. I don't think they're bad. But I think the actual content of the teaser was not good.
Yes,
It felt very look kids were relatable to and were digging
Yes.
into all of the culture surrounding this franchise, which you shouldn't do.
No, they didn't. Well, actually, I was gonna say they didn't reference All Star that heavy in like Shrek
But
2.
it's in there.
It's in Shrek 3,
Yeah.
but that's kind of clever in the way they did it. That was a
Mhm.
nice little tip of the cap. It wasn't as in your
Yeah, it didn't
face.
feel, yeah, it wasn't like heavy handed.
Yeah. I feel a little bit talked down to, if I'm being honest.
Absolutely.
I also I don't really care about the character designs. It's fine. I
I
do
think it's
think that
fine.
the animation looks boring.
Mhm.
It's very flat. It
Yeah.
it reminds me a lot of like a lesser DreamWorks movie where we can't really judge the movie off of this. But like
No,
just
because I don't think that's even part of the film. I think it's a promotional thing. So they probably
yeah,
didn't use their entire like setup for it.
probably not. But man, just like put that side by side with some of the shots in Puss in Boots. And it's like,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking the whole time. I'm like,
uh,
this does not feel the same as that,
yeah. Not that it
which it
needs to,
should.
but
It should be close
it
though.
should be because it's really G dang good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm worried it's going to feel like a bad DreamWorks movie
Yeah.
because everyone involved in it makes bad DreamWorks movies, and this didn't inspire any confidence in me.
No.
Plus, I think it's a weird choice to pick Zendaya to be Ogre Daughter.
Hmm.
That feels the most like Hello Fellow
I hope
Kids
Tom
pick.
Holland is another ogre son.
Yeah, that's kind of the like this. Hey, TikTok crowd, Zendaya is in this film. Do you want to
Tom
see it?
Holland.
Tom
Timothy
Holland.
Chalamet's making an appearance as the villain.
Yes. And every tween's favorite, Patrick Warburton, is going to be playing
Yeah.
Lord Farquaad's son, Duke
Mr.
Farquaad.
Beast.
Mr. Beast is going to play the dragon. That would be awesome.
I expect one influencer cameo based off of what we've seen.
I hope not. It's possible. I'm half expecting like Shea Farillis because he like did the whole Shrek review thing that he did and it like blew him up. I do kind of wonder about that because I think he's more or less responsible for the Megamind squeakquel being made because
Interesting.
he made a video about that and then like everybody online was like, actually that is a good movie when it was a good movie the whole time. And you guys are losers.
You should actually watch movies and not just watch video essays on them.
I agree. I agree.
Same with any other form of media.
Yeah, don't watch our videos. Just listen to albums.
If you're watching them, listen to the album first.
That's
And then don't
true.
complain about, oh, why don't you play the whole song? Shush.
Shush. Yeah. Shrek 5. What a film.
We'll see.
Where's the
You
gingerbread
should just have the
man?
Shrek retold people make Shrek 5.
Yeah, 3GI Industries.
Yep.
Shout out.
Give them budget, see what they do.
I still don't think Shrek 2 retold is out,
No.
which is unfortunate because I think it was supposed to come out in September of last year. I don't know. Yeah, it's still not out. I'm very excited for Shrek 2 retold, though.
Me too.
Thanks. I'm more excited for Shrek 2 retold than I am of
Yeah.
the actual Shrek 5.
As it stands right now, me too.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's it for movie news, though.
I believe so.
I don't know. Yeah, I think that's it. The Oscars are coming up. I'm so excited for the Oscars. I saw that Conan Barbarian is gonna be the guy.
Funny man himself.
I love Conan. I think it should have been a double host, a co-host situation with Conan and Conan, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Conan O'Brien. Do you agree?
What did you say?
I said, I think they should have had a co-host situation, Conan and Conan, where it was
Oh yeah,
Conan
that would have been
O'Brien and
good.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Sorry, my producer was talking in my ear. I think
Oh,
that would be a good idea.
okay. What was your producer saying? Or giving you show notes?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's just a little behind the scenes. We don't, we have a producer
oh,
because we would go off the rails if we didn't.
that's true. Because this show is very structured and
It's
organized.
very, yeah, high budget. A lot of risks here.
Yeah. It's heavily scripted too. That's the thing they don't understand.
Hmm.
Oh, I breaking news. Do
Oh,
do 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 do.
put in
The
the CNN election result chime.
the rehearsal is getting a second season.
Oh yeah, it is.
Nathan Fielder's show. Have you seen this?
I have not yet.
It's very
I've
good.
seen some Nathan Fielder stuff, but not that one.
Nathan for You is very great.
Yeah, that's very good.
I've seen every episode multiple times, and the rehearsal is also very good. Um, I think it's like less real than Nathan for You, and when people found out about that, they were very upset. And I don't know. I feel like it was kind of obvious because the person that was like supposed to be the real person is like so over the top that it's unrealistic. I think that's the joke. So I don't know. Check out the
There's
rehearsal.
levels
It's
to this.
good. I think it's just that one person because there's like a runner of a story that goes through all of the episodes,
Hmm.
and the person that's in that is an actor. So sorry for ruining the magic.
Wah, wah.
Wah wah. It's coming out 420. That's awesome.
That is pretty cool.
I'm gonna smoke a big doobie and watch the rehearsal season 2.
Big doinks.
Smoking doinks in Amish. That's all I have to say. I'm gonna pass it on over to Babby for his segment of the show.
Me and my
Music.
alley-oop, catch it like a cool guy.
Yeah.
Um, we got a variety of things to talk about. I have a lot of tabs open, which is a
Oh,
good thing. Um, yeah, it's a big week for singles and announcements. Not so much albums, but I'm okay
not
with that.
couples.
Um, what?
Not couples.
Could be.
You said singles. It's a good week for singles.
Yeah, it's still the single ladies. It's after Valentine's Day, so now it's the singles' turn.
Oh.
How it works. It's like where's my White History Month? It's like right after Valentine's Day. So the
Yeah.
singles rise up. They can buy half price candy.
It's like the Festivus thing. The Festivus for the
exactly.
rest of us.
Yeah. I think that's pretty neat. Um, let's start with Little Sims. Little Sims,
Little
our
Sims.
favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, she announced new album coming out May 9th. It's called Lotus.
Yeah.
I am excited. I'm very excited. The last thing she did was Drop 6, I believe it was called. Drop 7, not Drop 6. That was in 2020. A decent EP. I feel like there was some cool experiments, but I don't really go back to it ever. But it was all right. But this one here, she had her new single called Flood, and it's pretty great. I really enjoy it. It's definitely a different direction, but one that I think is kind of a natural point here. I was wondering what she was kind of gonna get into after Drop 7, and the weird kind of techno and UK kind of club influence on that record. But this one sounds very different than that. But it sounds anthemic. It sounds more live instrumentation-y. It's got almost like a little bit of a rock feel underneath it almost that I'm really enjoying. And yeah, it's really good. I think the mixing is a little harsh, but it's not bad enough where it takes away from the song at all. It might be like an intentional choice because it is a very much more gritty, focused track, which I do enjoy a lot. But she sounds energized, and I am excited. We'll probably do this on the channel. I think we've done
Yeah.
a lot of Sims on the channel. So, Yeah, I'm excited for it. I think it'll be pretty sick.
Yeah, I
All
like
right.
it too. I don't
Good.
know. I don't know if I have a whole lot to say. I do like that it has the point and kill guy on it.
Yes. Yeah, the chorus is pretty sick.
Yeah, and I was very happy to see that because point and kill is one of my favorite songs on Simbi.
Woo. That is a banger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we have tracks list or anything yet. I'm curious if that
No,
little Hello High single is going to be on this thing, but I don't think it will be.
I don't think so.
So,
They have the track list on Spotify, and it's
oh, do
just
they?
there's 13 tracks, and they're all just track one, track three, track four, track
Oh,
five.
gotcha. They're all hidden.
Yeah.
Okay. I forgot Spotify does that now. Um,
Don't tell anyone.
yeah, but we'll we'll see what that's doing in May. But sounds exciting. I don't think she's really skipped a beat. I think Drop Seven was just a little experiment type thing. So I'm not faulting that against her at all.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. Next, Backwash. A new album comes out March 28th. She dropped her second single from it, I think, which is Ninth Heaven. And it is fantastic. Um, yeah, she is doing a big old style switch up with this album, moving away from the black metal styled hip hop and more into a, um, I don't know. There's more melodic moments happening. There's some more anthemic moments happening. There's like an actual more traditional sounding hip hop beat to this thing, but it sounds fantastic. Like the instrumental is just great. Her delivery is only getting stronger. I feel like giving her something that's very less abrasive lets her personality shine a little bit more than her previous works, and it's just fantastic. The lyrics are very poignant, and the chorus is really great as well. So it seems like she's taken a big step up artistically here, and it's sounding great. So, yeah, that's one of the many coming out on March 28th. That's a stacked day to look forward to. And there's more stacked days, as we'll talk about soon. Um, there's a lot of announcements this week, but yeah, Ninth Heaven is fantastic. I think I do like it a little bit more than Wake Up, which is the first single drop from this thing. Yeah, this thing is just contagious. So check it out. All right, Jane Remover, second single from the new album,
Jane.
which we do not have a release date for yet. I think she released JR on the 1st of January. That was the first song I listened to this year, I think, new song. Um, but this one is Dancing with Your Eyes Closed. It is phenomenal. I think it's quite a bit better than the first single, actually. Um, I still have like no idea what to expect from her, considering her last album was very much like a slowcore shoegazy experience, and this sounds like Porter Robinson with the dial turned up by like three. Um, Crazy glitchy, but still a lot of those fun little like house bubblegum bass type synths that are just really, really, really fun. The chorus is super catchy and the energy is fantastic. So I'm loving the direction she's taking here. I think this album's going to be pretty sick based on the two singles. But yeah, this is one of those where it's like I feel like I'm too old to listen to this at this point still, but it's really good. Um, yeah, I think that happens with a lot of these more. I don't want to say hyper pop, but like glitchy digital type tracks and artists like this. But I don't know. It sounds really good. It sounds like this could be a Porter Robinson song if he just went like crazy, crazy in the deep end with these electronics. But yeah, it sounds fantastic. So another one I'm looking forward to. We don't know when this is the album's coming out yet, but should be hopefully soon.
Probably.
Um, yeah. Okay. Another new announcement. Model actress is back.
Oh.
Uh, hot off of 2023's Dog's Body, which I put in my top 10 for that year, I think.
Oh.
Uh, which that was their debut album. I thought it was a fantastic debut album. It's such a good record. But they got a new one coming out, Pirouette, comes out May 2nd. And we got the first single, Cinderella, this week, and it is amazing. All the singles from this week are just like incredible, and I don't. It's the best week for singles this year so far. This song is so fun. Like they're taking the industrial rock from the last album, but they're like inducing more of a dance element to it. So it comes across just like super energetic. It's like gay Nine Inch Nails in the best way possible, and I'm loving it. this is the kind of stuff that you'd like go to a concert in like a little New York nightclub that's just like super sketchy to get into, and everybody's just having a rave and a good time. It's so good. Yeah, super hyped for this record. I think it's going to be fantastic. Um, it's definitely like a tiny bit evolution off of the last record. I think they said this record was kind of made on tour for the first album, so I think it'll share a lot of similarities to the first one, especially with those like driving guitars. That sounds like it could be off the last album, but the more dance-induced parts of it are just new and fresh, and they're just coming out the gate swinging. This is their going to be their second record, and they immediately are just like in this thing. So, yeah, shout out Model Actress if you're into industrial rock or those kind of like dance punk area. Do not miss them. I think they're one of the best new bands coming out. So, um, yeah, shout out that.
Shout out.
All right, there's more.
What?
By Storm, second single ever. By Storm is the predecessor of Injury Reserve, so it's just the
Oh,
duo now. So they have rebranded as By Storm. We do not know if there's an album attached to these two songs yet. Double Trio came out in 2023, and Zigzag is the new single. So got two singles, about like a year and a half apart. I'm guessing it'll turn into a record eventually, but we don't really have any indication of that right now. But Zigzag is a 7-minute crazy, insane song. I don't know what to even categorize this as. I'm also seeing that Double Trio, their first song, is also 6 minutes and 56 seconds. So they're both the exact same length, which is interesting.
hmm.
This song is phenomenal. I don't know what to even categorize it as. It's kind of a hip hop song, but it's more like a experimental kind of ambient hip hop with a little bit of like soul in there. It's so many different things. I think since by the time I Make It to Phoenix came out in 2021, um, the experimental hip hop lane has evolved a lot, and I think this album was like a milestone in that. And we're now seeing groups kind of not get onto that wave exactly because they are still wholly unique in their lane. But like even like Diabetic Test Strips, which is I think maybe one of the best hip hop records this decade, maybe top three, is starting to hit a lot more on this more glitchy post rap kind of thing with instrumentals and stuff. I think especially Doves off that record is very similar to this. So it is more of a soulful ambient hip hop piece, and it's more of a people were throwing around the term prog rap, which I don't know
Oh,
if I really apply that. I think it's just because it's a long song. There's not progression happening here, but it is more of a. I think post rap is more of a accurate term, but it's phenomenal. Richie is so good on this. He's navigating this beat fantastically. Corey's production is amazing. The beat is just like so peaceful, and the way it layers is just fantastic. Lyrical content is so good. And I feel like it's a little bit easier to get into than a lot of stuff off of Phoenix or their first single. Um, but this is a group where just like it brings emotions that you didn't really know or can articulate in an accurate way. What they're doing is just so unique to them, and they're just killing it in this lane. So I'm very excited to see what this turns into. But so far, I think this might be the best single of 2025 so far.
hmm.
It's it's incredible. It's really an experience. The music video that goes with it is pretty sick too. So um, shout out them. I think they're so far ahead of the curve in a lot of ways. So, um, yeah, so glad to hear from them again.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of people ahead of the curve, this isn't true with this one at all, actually. Um, Swans is back, like we knew they
Oh,
would. Um, yeah, album announcement. Birthing comes out May 30th. May is stacking up quickly.
yeah.
Um, so they announced this with the new single "I Am a Tower," because of course he is. Um, yeah, but Birthing is going to be 7 tracks. It's about an hour and 55 minutes, which
Oh,
is the shortest out of a lot of their most recent works, besides Leaving Meaning, surprisingly. Um,
oh.
but this album contains, I think, it'll probably be a lot of the stuff they played on their last tour. But honestly, I don't remember like a lot of the sounds of the last tour because it was just so visceral that you can't really pick out what's happening most of the time, and it was phenomenal. Um, but this new song, "I Am a Tower," I don't remember hearing on the tour, so this might be a new entry that they
Mm.
were working on. But it is a 19-minute single coming out hot. I think most of the songs on this record are going to be extremely long. I think there's one that's like 7 minutes long, and that's the shortest one. Um, it's really, really, really good. I think this is their last big sound album, or maybe just their last album in general. So they're kind of going out with a bang here. It sounds like a mix of stuff they've done on soundtracks and The Glowing Man and their last album, The Beggar, all kind of merged into one. You have these insane sleigh bells that are just like annoying the crap out of you for the first 8 minutes, which sound phenomenal. The guitar droning is so good. And the background singers and vocals and harmonies are back from The Glowing Man, which is, I think, why that album is my favorite from them.
Mm.
It adds just such a visceral experience when you have these like angelic background singers doing a lot of work. So they just add a ton of ambience to this track. It's so good. Um, Immediately pulls you right back into Swans. The Beggar was a lot more subdued and quiet compared to a lot of Swans releases, and they're kind of like back in full force with this one. This sounds like something that could be pretty soon after The Glowing Man and that original trilogy of The Seer to Be Kind and The Glowing Man. Um, the album cover is very similar to Soundtracks to the Blind as well, which is interesting. They're bringing back the Circle for their grand finale here, which I think is pretty nice. I enjoy it. I know some people were like, I don't know if I like the cover because they've done so many albums with like the circle,
Yeah.
but they were using the circle motif as they were ending Swans, the first iteration of it before they killed it, and now
Mm.
they're kind of doing it for the second one here, which I kind of enjoy.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of poetic. I enjoy it. But the single is fantastic. It is just as hypnotic and unnerving and crazy as you'd expect from them. Um, Michael is 71 years old and he's doing this. No 71-year-old should be pushing yourself this hard, making this loud of music. But he's still going, and I think he's going till the end. So
Mm.
I think with every Swans record now, it's like this could be his last, and I think he knows that. So they're just putting everything they can into these releases. Um, there's a lot more like melodic moments on here too, which are really nice. Like it's not all insane droning percussive stuff. There are some really nice sections and crescendos that are very rhythmic and cool. Um, there's like a big homage to David Bowie on this song,
Mm.
Heroes specifically. The last crescendo on the track is very similar to that song, but in a very cool way. Um, I know he is a big fan of Bowie, and a lot of like The Beggar actually kind of sounds more akin to Black Star. So I can kind of see that influence carry forward here. Um, but yeah, this thing's pre-ordered. It's a 3 LP, but it's gonna be fantastic. I'm so excited. This year is heating up a big time. Like all of my favorite artists again are like popping out the woodwork, which is great because 2024 was also fantastic. But now we're getting the other batch of people coming in for 2025.
Yeah.
Um, so it's been a pretty good start, but this song is fantastic. Um, yeah, I think this is an easier place to start with Swans if you're looking to it because the beggar was incredibly difficult to get into if you were not already up to the task of Swans to begin with. Um, but super excited for this gigantic last album here. And I'm interested to see how much I remember from the tour because I think at least three of these songs they were definitely doing on that tour. Um, I am sad that we are not getting the uh, 90-minute version of the beggar that they played live, but that might be on the live rope album that they released for to fund this album last year.
Mm.
So because that's just insane. But how long is that album? Oh yeah, that one's 2.5 hours. Yeah, that one has the beggar, which is 52 minutes, and then rope, which is 25 minutes before it, which kind of blend into the same song. Um, Honestly, I think 2 hours is a good length. I don't know if I need the hour long beggar track, um, but I've experienced it live, and that will never leave me. So
Yeah.
good for me. Um, yeah, those were all the just insane singles this week. That J. Cole song "Clouds" that we talked about last week is also on streaming now. So I've had time to actually like dig into the lyrics of that track as well and kind of get more of a feel for it. I still really enjoy it. The flow on that track is addicting. But I also enjoy his like commentary on AI in the music industry going forward, which I thought was really nice. So Cole coming through with really good flows and actual interesting lyrical content without doing anything that I don't like that he does. So good job.
Yeah.
I don't know why you do this on your like Lucy singles. Your Lucy singles are like so much better than a lot of your album cuts. But that's a weird problem to have. But it's
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
Lil Nas X problem. But like you're not Lil Nas X. You're not a pop star. It's interesting. I feel like all the pressure goes away when he doesn't have an album attached to it. He just doesn't like have the craft of an album down. But like
Yeah.
when he's focusing on a single, he goes in. Um, so yeah. Shout out Jermaine one time.
Yeah.
Good job. Good rebound after Grippy and 7 minute drill.
Nice one, Jermaine.
Good job. Um, all right, other stuff. Black Country New Road has a new single coming out March 3rd, so next Monday. It's called Happy Birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy Birthday. The cover arts for these things have been so good. I've been following the artist that is doing all these, and they're just so fun. I love all these. Um, yeah, so I think I'm going to be seeing them live with our good friend Babjab as well. So
Oh,
I think the time is right. They're coming to the Midwest finally, so
nice.
I think we're gonna do it. Um, yeah, so that'll be like in a month after the album releases. So I'm very excited for that. But I will give thoughts on the new single next week.
Yeah.
All right, there were a couple of albums that came out this week, and I did not listen to any of them, but I
Really?
found them interesting. So um, we have a new one from Sam Fender called People Watching. This one is interesting because I was going to listen to it, but I'm like, maybe this is a wheel thing to throw on there.
Hmm.
It's like Heartland Rock singer-songwriter, so it kind of felt like Arlene.
Yeah.
So it might add that to the wheel. I think people have been saying some pretty good stuff about it. So
Okay.
yeah, seemed kind of like Arlene. So I'll probably
Yeah.
put that on the wheel. Not one I'm like dying to listen to on my own, but I think it'll be a good one for the channel.
Is it
So
like War on Drugs, Stone?
I'm assuming so with the Heartland Rock kind of theme, but
Okay.
I've kind of like just done some feelers, and it seems like the songwriting is a big highlight on here as well. So
Hmm.
definitely very interested in that. Um,
Okay.
I think a relatively new group. The first album was in 2019, so could be interesting.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Yes, sir. We got a new Tim Hecker album, Shards. Gonna listen to this. Just haven't had time since we'll talk about why I didn't have time to listen to stuff later. But yeah, I really enjoyed Tim Hecker's Virgins, which I listened to during the Spooky Marathon last year. I think it was my favorite album out of that batch. That album is just haunting and gorgeous and everything in between. So I'm excited to dig into this one. I love the more like ambient stuff that he's doing. So I'll probably dig into that for next week. And then Maruja or Maruja, however you say it, they have another EP that they dropped this week. This band has dropped all EPs, no album yet.
Oh.
Why? I don't know. Because the music is really great. I think this is another descendant of the windmill scene, a la Black Country and Black MIDI and
Hmm.
Squid and others. But they add more of a unhinged jazz element to a lot of their stuff, which I really enjoy.
Hmm.
Um, so I'll probably check this out as well. I don't know if there's ever going to be an album from these guys because they just like love giving us bite-sized little 20-minute things all the time. They're always great, but like there's never enough substance in one record where it's like, wow, this is like insane. So I'm always left wanting more and not like necessarily in a good way. So
Hmm.
I do have they make like a long form something or other eventually here, or just put all these EPs into one long album. I think that would be interesting too.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I just wanted to mention that because definitely a group I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Okay. I think I'll do my concert review now before we talk about last thing.
Okay.
Um, I was in the great city of Minneapolis again.
Yes. Great city.
Great city. I enjoyed it a lot more this time than last time. I
What,
think
did
it's
you not like it last time?
we were in St. Paul for most of the time last time, so I think
Oh,
my perception was a bit clouded. We
yes.
spent 90% of our time in Minneapolis this time, and I enjoyed it so much more. It's
Minneapolis is great.
such a cool city. I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were going to all the different neighborhoods, trying all the different things. It was just like so nice. I
Yeah.
loved it.
Nobody lives in
Um,
St. Paul, and nobody goes to St.
yeah,
Paul.
yeah. It seems very hoity-toity, white person, 10
Yeah.
years behind the curve on everything,
It's all
which
old people,
is kind of
old
yeah.
white
I didn't
people.
really enjoy that.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything here was great this time. I loved it.
Yeah.
But we saw Mocha Doma in concert live.
Mocha Doma.
This is a Belarusian dark wave, post punky, synth poppy kind of band. Um, and they put on a really good live show. Like I've listened to most of their albums. It's never been anything where I'm like, this is like incredible. Um, and I think a lot of that is just like the setting that you're listening to it in, because it does definitely dig into the dark wave aesthetic big time. So it tends to fall not into the not into the ambient spectrum, but more of a slacker rock, like have it on in the background, less
Mm.
active listening type work. Um, and their mixing is also a little bit more vintage and dusty, which I do really enjoy. But in the concert setting here, I think it just really expands it. Um, I thought they just sounded fantastic live. They had one opener for this, which is called Sextile, which is a Californian. I'm going to call them a hard bass group because it was hard bass. It was throbbing bass and thumping bass for about 45 minutes, which was great. Like the energy was really high and stuff. It's always interesting though, because like the opener had a lot more energy than the main act, which was interesting. You have this like insane explosion of just like overproduced bass and craziness and party for the first part of the show, and then the actual main group comes out and it's a lot more mellow, still danceable and fun, but like not as nearly insane as that. So I thought it was an interesting dynamic going on there.
Mm.
But yeah, the actual main act was really fantastic. Kind of a light show type thing. There's three members. You have all the coolest dressed people you could possibly imagine, and they're like black suspenders and like tap dance shoes almost. It was a very, very Slavic coded. Um, yeah, there's three members. There was like eight guitars on stage. They switched guitars like every song, and everything was already pedaled up and everything. Um, but everything just sounded so fantastic. Like when you like shed that sheen of like vintage and like dusty, noisy kind of mixing, and you get the live setting with like lasers and crap. Like these tracks become so much more like danceable and energetic. I think especially the stuff off of their last record, which I talked about last year, since that has a lot of a little bit of like a disco undertone to a lot of it, which was really cool. But the guitars sounded fantastic. The grooves were just set in stone. Nobody missed a single beat. It was just smooth sailing for the whole set. A lot of range from their catalog as well. But it's such a cool band. Like the sound of a lot of them are just like, it's so cool. It was a packed show too. Like that venue was maybe a little bit overfilled. It was
Mm.
cramped in there, but the energy was fantastic. It was a really great time. Um, I think part of that is like I think they had a couple songs blow up on TikTok because if you've heard their music, there's definitely TikTokable moments
Mm.
in there. Not in the bad way either. Just like a mood setting. Like it gives off a feeling immediately when you put on some of that stuff. Um, but yeah, the dark wave elements are fantastic. There was a couple guitar solos and stuff in there that were great. Um, and they did an encore of 4 songs. The encore was like 20 minutes, which was crazy. I've
Oh.
never seen a band do that. They left the stage for about 5 minutes and then came back and went for another 20. So
Oh. Okay.
it went a lot longer than I expected it to. Um, but yeah, super cool show. I wasn't like super, I didn't know what to expect just because like I'm not an active listener of their music. I've heard a lot of it, but I haven't like sat down and really gone through it. So I wasn't sure what the vibe was going to be, how the energy was going to be. But I was pleasantly surprised. It was really, really, really fun.
Mm.
And a very different concert than what I usually attend. So,
Yeah.
yeah, shout out Volcat Doma. If you can get them on tour, definitely do. It's a really fun show. Um, I think the age range was surprisingly like cool there as well. There's a lot of different people.
Hmm.
So yeah, shout out them. That was one of the coolest shows I've been to. It was just I don't know. Their music just like sounds like you should be like driving at night with sunglasses on for some reason. It's a very specific vibe they give off, but it's good stuff.
Nice.
All right. Last thing this week, I think. Yeah. There were 2 albums that I mentioned last week that I was not going to talk about yet because I was not ready to.
Mm.
I have one of those ready now. I did not have time for the other one because I was out of town. And that
Right.
one's a lot more dense and going to take a little more time. But this one, I'm ready. Uh, this album was one that I first listened to after my wisdom teeth surgery. So I was drugged up and I don't remember 80% of it.
Mm.
So I had to go back and listen. And I'm like, oh, I remember that part. And then some songs I just completely did not remember at all. Those drugs do not play around. Um, but this is Ichiko Aoba. I believe I've probably mentioned her before. She's a Japanese singer-songwriter, kind of folky. I wouldn't categorize the music as folk, but there's definitely some folk elements to it.
Hmm.
More ambient folk singer-songwriter stuff. But I listened to the album Windswept Adon, which is the one that came out in 2020. Ranked number one for that year on Album of the Year, surprisingly.
Oh,
But I know Fantano had this really high on that list as well. It's been one I've been meaning to check out for a while, but I was never sat down and got into it. But it is really, 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 really good. It really kind of scratches the itch of more of that Wise Blood kind of very watery, serene production style where everything just feels so like pristine and delicate and just well placed. But even more so, the ambience is definitely turned up a lot here. Um, there are some really nice moments where like there's just like little piano pieces. There's a lot of field recordings here too, so you'll get nice like birds and like wind and all these like really nice kind of nature settings coming in. But then you'll have songs that are a bit more like traditional folk forward, which are really, really, really nice as well. Her vocals kind of remind me of like Yonzi from Sigur Rós and just like how good her high register is and how well she can hold those notes. Um, it is just a serene listen. It is just smooth sailing from the minute you hit play. This would sound fantastic on vinyl. Like oh, it's hard to even talk about the album because it is more of an ambient experience, but the moments that do kind of draw your attention more are also just like really fantastic. I think Porcelain is amazing. There's one other one. I think Dawn and the Adon is also a more straightforward track that I really, really, really enjoy. The guitar work on that is fantastic. Yeah, I cannot recommend this thing enough. It is just gorgeous. I always love there's always a parts of time in the year where I'm like, I need to find the prettiest piece of music I can find. I need my soul rejuvenated with something like that, and this kind of like really touches on it. A lot of great mix of different things. There's a little bit of like Laura Marling in here, which I really enjoy. A little bit of Wise Blood, a little bit of Sigur Rós. A little bit of Hannah Stratton too. That record I talked about a couple weeks ago with that ambient folk style with some field recordings.
hmm.
But this feels a lot more lush and underwater than the more like rooted sound of that album. So I kind of got a yin yang situation with these two records, which is not a bad thing at all. But yeah, this thing is so good. I need to keep listening to it to like really hone down what I'm feeling score wise for it. But off the first couple of listens, I'm just like, it's so good. So cannot recommend enough. I think it's great to just kind of throw on in the background, or you could do it intense listening style, and you'll still get as much like joy out of the little details and movements here. But it hits that mark of an album where it's like good to sleep to, good to have on the background, good to actively listen to. That's a fantastic trio. So check it out. It's phenomenal. Um, to piggyback off that, she has a new album coming out tomorrow.
What?
So I'll be listening to that and talking about that next week. But yeah, Luminescent Creatures comes out tomorrow. So we're getting a 1-2 punch with this. So very excited for it. I have not heard any of the singles from it so far, but I think there's been a couple. But looking like it's a shorter album. This one's 50. Windswept Adon is 50 minutes, but this new one is about 35. But I will give my thoughts next week. But as it stands now, this album is just phenomenal. So another one to be out searching for in the record stores now, which is good. I feel like I stopped going to record stores for about 6 months, and then by the time I go again, I'm like I have a whole new catalog of things I'm searching for,
Yeah.
which is a good thing. So but yeah, I also have a new Godspeed adjacent record I have to check out. I got on vinyl by what is that called? They have like there's like 5 little mini groups that Ephraim has, and he kind of like makes the music under all of them, and it's all kind of similar. Uh, Mount Saint Zion, that's what it is. But I got the record Horses in the Sky from 2005, so I'm going to be digging into that as well, because that's one of their highest rated. I've listened to their first record. Um, he has left us alone, but shafts of light sometimes grace the corner of our rooms. Nailed it, first try.
Nice.
That album's fantastic, But yeah, Horses in the Sky is like the next one I'm diving into here. So, um, but yeah, I'll have thoughts on that as well. So, I think that's it. It was a eventful week when it came to announcements and singles, and I think when it comes to singles, this is by far the best week this year so far. Every single single I talked about was really good. So yeah, I think that's it. That's what I've been jamming. Still on
Nice.
that Nate Drake heavy.
Yeah,
That episode will be out now, so go check it out if you
very
want a full
soon.
thoughts on that. But yeah, still jamming that. Still jamming Mike. This Bon Iver single has not left my ears at all yet. So
Mm,
yeah, eating good so far.
yeah, sounds like it. Well, I might add something to your rotation because I
Okay.
found something today that is very nice and very. I don't know if anyone is talking about it because I don't think any of the songs have over 20K streams.
Perfect.
But the group New Jazz Underground did a set of jazz standards that were set or covers or I don't know, inspired by different Kendrick songs.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Got the Heart Part 4.
Yeah, they have like some
Damn.
weird picks, including a mix of Meet the Grams and Passion Fruit by Drake, which is a cursed song, but it's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. They have a whole video on YouTube of a live performance of it, and it's all really really great. And I'm not
Oh
one
yeah.
to really listen to jazz a whole lot, but
They got an MF Doom one too.
yeah, they got some good stuff. So I
Interesting.
wanted to shout that out.
I will add it to my list.
There's not a lot of jazz being made these days, right?
There is. It's hard to find it.
Nobody listens to
You either get
jazz anymore.
you either get hipster jazz, which is like off the wall insane jazz, which is good, but more traditional jazz acts I think are a little bit harder to come by.
Yeah, I like the smooth, smoky, noir-esque jazz.
Yeah, I play both sides. I think they're both pretty good, but yeah, you can't beat the smooth jazz. That
Yeah,
stuff just like hits.
man, I need to listen to. Was it Kind of Blue? Is that what the album's
Yeah,
called? Yeah.
yeah. I have Bitches Brew on my list to go into next. I really want to dig into that album because I feel like that's the one.
Yes, I love Miles Davis,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I just want to shout that out. That's pretty much the only new thing that I've been listening to. So
Neat.
there you go.
Diversifying,
Yeah, just a little bit.
mixing it up.
Yeah, yeah. I did listen to The Chronic.
Yeah. How'd
Uh,
that age for you?
it's weird because I
It is
think
weird.
the first time I listened to it, I didn't know that much about like I don't know, like the NWA history.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that like I kind of know that story, like listening to it, and there's just like so many shots at Easy E and
There
Ice
is, yeah.
Cube. And I'm like, why? they they're both I don't know. Everyone's great out of the whole NWA crew. I don't understand why they're shooting at Ice Cube and Easy E. But that was my
The
own.
complicated history.
It's a complicated history. But I was just like, I like those guys. But I do like, I mean, I totally get where you're coming from because Dre's not really a great rapper. But I do like that Snoop is all over this thing and he
Absolutely.
carries it.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think it still has a fantastic album, but it's like compared to a lot of the stuff coming out around that time, I don't put it very high.
no, no, it's good. It's just, I don't know. I think it's definitely
Yeah.
aged.
I think I've found I'm more of an East Coast man when it
Uh,
comes to
yeah.
90s.
Well, yeah, me too.
Give me Black on Both Sides over most things. And Outcast. I think yeah. Give me those two.
There's just those two albums.
Just just all of Outkast's discography and Black on Both Sides, I think tops everything else.
Yeah, I like,
Maybe a Tupac album in there, but a lot of Tupac songs like kind of transcend the albums they're on.
that's true. I like Tribe. I like Black
Mm,
Star.
yes. Yeah.
There's a lot
I
of
don't know.
good
East Coast
stuff.
is just different. A lot more
Lauryn
jazz
Hill.
incorporated on the East Coast. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of, and I love the jazz. I just said that I
Absolutely.
don't really listen to jazz, but I like jazz rap a lot.
Yeah, that's the thing where it's like jazz isn't too prominent as a genre itself, but it's intermixed in a lot of things now, and
Yes.
that's a good thing.
Yes. And speaking of, we need to do a Roots album.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like I had a Roots album on there a while ago, and I don't know if it fell off or not. Um, but yes, we need to put one on there. That's a group that like I should be tapped into. Like I've listened to maybe every single member's like work outside of it, but I haven't listened to like the actual Roots albums yet.
I think I listened to Do You Want More a long time ago, and I don't remember anything about it.
Hmm.
And I don't really know where we should start.
Yeah, Things Fall Apart is their most popular, and that might be a good place to start just because like there's Common and Most Def and
Oh,
Erica Badu and stuff on it.
oh,
Um,
and DJ Jazzy
but
Jeff,
and DJ Jazzy Jeff, of course,
of course.
legend. But yeah, I think Black Thought will kill you in the best way possible. So
Okay. Well, I'm
man, I
down.
haven't listened to Black Thought in a while. Yeah, we could do that. I do have a Black Thought album on the wheel as well, but
I'll add Things
yeah,
Fall Apart to my wheel.
perfect. Yeah, I want to do more rap on the channel. I have a couple on my wheel. I've been adding more and more to kind of mix it up a little bit. So
Yeah. I hate folk now. I want to just do rap.
we're a folk and rap channel. Honestly, I'm very happy with that. If that's our lane,
If that's the two things that we like, I'm fine with
I feel
that.
like I get the biggest, more like reactions and depth to discussions when it comes to those two compared to other stuff. We're
I
not
would
very
say
like
so.
physically reactive
No,
reactors, I guess. We like to dig into the details.
absolutely. That's what sets us apart.
Yeah,
Our angle is that we don't really do the format that we're in.
exactly. But it's the best way to talk about it because it's fresh on our mind.
Yeah, I think so. But that's about it, I think, unless you have something else you want
I
to
don't think so.
say.
No,
No?
that's pretty much all I did. I've been gone,
Oh.
so I haven't really had much else to do.
I guess I'll end this podcast on a hot take, if you don't
Ooh,
mind.
okay, of course.
I was listening to Holding Out. What is it? Holding Out for a Hero,
Mm-hmm.
the Frou Frou version from
Oh
Shrek
yes.
2. And I'm going to say something controversial in that I think that version might be better than the version that's in the movie.
Okay. I don't remember exactly what that version sounds like.
It's in the credits. That's
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. I mean, it just sounds like a motion heap. And I
Hmm.
like that. Which, speaking of, do we have frou frou on either of our wheels?
No, we probably should.
Okay, I'll add it to mine.
Oh yeah, I do like this version quite a bit actually.
It's great.
Yeah. They have Nick Cave on this soundtrack. And Tom, oh yeah, Tom Waits is in that. Yeah.
Yeah, they have like, it's a
It's a good
weird
soundtrack.
soundtrack.
Yeah.
And there's
I'm like, where's
Bowie,
Tom
isn't
Waits?
there?
Oh, it's in the tavern.
Oh, oh yeah, it's like a Bowie
Yeah.
cover that's in it, right?
It is. It's a Bowie cover. I don't know if he's
Yeah.
actually like on it or if he's just credited.
I don't think so. I would have remembered his voice being in Shrek.
Yeah.
Speaking of, Shrek 5 has to have a really good soundtrack, right?
It has to. It's the mark of a good Shrek movie.
No, but here's the thing. Here's the pitfall that it could fall into. Because the original Shrek movies were basically just taking music from the time.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I would feel about a Shrek 5 with like Dua Lipa.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I think they have to go alt with it.
Yeah?
I'm thinking Japanese breakfast.
Oh.
Um,
That would be a
along those
Biba
lines.
Doobie.
Maybe revive. Yeah. Maybe revive Bright Eyes or something. Get some Connor Oberst. Throw some Mountain Goats in there.
That would be so weird.
I'm thinking this will be a good sound. I'm just trying to match the vibe of what made this Shrek 2 soundtrack great. I think
Well,
you need to go in a lot of different directions that are
sure.
unexpected.
Yeah, I mean, like Counting Crows has like 3 songs on Shrek 2.
Exactly.
So you have a point. Maybe Connor Oberst. Maybe bring the
Bonnie
Better
Prince
Oblivion
Billy.
Community Center back.
Or bring them back together.
Yeah,
I
bring
don't think
the.
that's ever happening, but
Why not?
I don't know. There was like some really weird relationship things between those two. Like they were kind of a thing and kind of not, and kind of a throuple, but kind of not. I
Oh,
don't know what's going on over there.
so maybe don't do that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Phoebe Bridgers could be interesting on
Oh,
Shrek.
Phoebe would be great. Yeah.
That would
I mean,
be
she should drop an album.
so weird.
So
All of these picks
where you
feel
at?
off. Yeah,
They
everyone
do
else
feel
is kind
off,
of.
but they could work. They could work.
Yeah, yeah, or yeah, because what would be better? Let's say hypothetically, I think there's two
Hmm.
options that realistically they would go. Either they would do top 40 of right now
Yep.
or top 40 of 20 years ago.
Ooh.
Trying to play on the
Mm,
nostalgia of the 2000s.
yeah. Just put Not Like Us in track 5.
That
Um,
would be.
it'd be horrible. um,
If Shrek
man,
says
what was the
certified
top?
pedophile.
Yeah, top 40 of 2005, 2006. What would that be?
Like Black Eyed Peas. Uh, what else was
Top
big?
40,
Like early
2006.
Radiohead?
Radiohead was getting funky at that point. I don't know if
Okay.
they would do that or if they were exactly chart topping.
Yeah. Owl
Sean,
City?
yeah, Owl City, Nelly,
Nelly.
uh, Chris Brown, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Fergie,
Oh.
Kelly Clarkson, um, Christina Aguilera.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. Snow Patrol.
Wait, Snow Patrol was going back then?
Yeah,
Oh.
Nickelback,
Yeah.
Mariah Carey, a
Uh
lot of Nickelback.
yeah, I don't know. I don't
All
really
right.
like either option.
Yeah, I think you have to go indie with it. Like
Yeah.
stuff that people know but aren't top 40. I don't think pop
Mm.
from the nowadays will work with this movie unless they go full in TikTok like they're doing in this teaser, which they shouldn't because it's
Yeah.
not a Shrek movie then, in my opinion. I think
I
it needs
would
to,
agree.
yeah, it's
I
got
would
that
agree.
edge to it.
There has to be an edge, and it has to be against Disney, not kids.
Yeah. Phil Elverum soundtrack.
I don't know about that.
No, that'd
That's
be
too
really weird.
sad.
He wouldn't do that.
Too sad for a Shrek movie.
He's a goofy guy. He could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything I've heard from him is so,
That's because we've listened to the.
I guess.
Yeah.
I listened to the elephant and crow and
Yeah.
fish.
Uh huh. I don't know. They have a couple ways they could go. There's a lot of wrong ways to go. I think you need to really dig deep and get quirky with it for it to work.
Yeah, that's true.
I think pull from all decades, but like artists that aren't exactly like the hottest.
Do a James Gunn thing.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the best way to do it.
I think so too. Okay, well, that's something to think about, DreamWorks
Mhm.
execs that I know listen to this podcast all the way to the end.
We will keep following up on this as more soundtrack news comes out.
Oh, absolutely. We're very invested in Shrek news.
We are
Shrek is my favorite
full
film.
pivot.
Yeah,
There's a lot riding on this movie, and the first impressions are not great. So
that's
I'm
true.
invested though. I'm interested to see how this plays out.
Are we gonna be like those shills for Marvel and Star Wars that like,
Yeah, we're Shrek Watch.
yeah, we're gonna be Shrek Watch? It's like this. The one director tweeted
This detail
something.
you didn't. 5 details in the trailer that you missed. Like post like 25-minute videos every single day, but there's like no new information. And it's just someone yapping about possibilities.
Yeah,
That's
but
us. That's what
but
we're doing.
but then we get invited to the premiere,
Ooh, there we go.
and then even if the movie is absolutely terrible, then
Yeah,
we
we still have to say it's
still
good.
wow, what a great movie. And we're gonna be interviewing the director on Zoom.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be wearing a funny hat, and I'm
Yep.
gonna be
I'm
like,
gonna be wearing nothing.
wow, director of Shrek. You're just gonna be naked. Wow, director of Shrek 5. That was amazing. That was a film that I think that everybody in the family can enjoy.
Hmm. A
That's what
true
I'll say.
cinematic masterpiece.
I've seen it 3 times, and I just gotta say, it's a lot of fun. That's what
And
I
then we
think of.
influence the letterbox scores based off of that. And then the artificial like blossoming of the ratings happens, and then everybody like convinces themselves it's a good movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be like post-ironic where people kind
Hmm.
of deep down in their soul know that it's bad, but it's the boy time sway because we
Exactly.
have too much power
We do.
culturally.
It's a
Like
burden.
it is a burden. It's a real burden. We're like the Sisyphus of YouTube in a lot of ways,
Hmm.
which is a reference that most people won't get, but we do because
Most
we're
people aren't
smart.
smart enough to know that.
Yeah.
They haven't watched enough video essays yet.
Most people have never even played Hades. Okay,
They
that's
haven't
it.
even made it past the first room.
Well, he is in the first world, the first
That is true.
level.
Hmm.
Yeah. I do like that Orpheus is in that game, and he's like a little twink.
That is true.
That is
Is
true.
Hades 2 out yet?
Yes. Well, it's in early access.
Yeah, early access.
Yeah. I don't think it's out. And I have not played
May
Hades
6th.
2. May 6th.
Oh, May 6th, 2024. Oh, it's been out in early access for a while.
Yeah, it has. I don't know. It's probably going to take a long time.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's probably still good enough to buy right now, but
Yeah. Have you played the first one?
I didn't play all the way through, but I got through most of it, I think.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Yeah, it's a good game.
It is pretty good.
I like all the dialogue, and I like how hot Aphrodite is.
Hmm.
Everyone was like simping over Aphrodite, but I was more of an Artemis man
Mm-hmm.
because I like quirky scene chicks that wear hoodies that are too big.
I like the skeleton guy.
Skelly.
Yeah.
I like Megrara. She's a smoke show.
It's just like every time you play that game and you get to a new area, it just goes like, "Awooga," when a new character is introduced.
It should. Everyone's so hot in that game.
Yeah, it is. It's like, why did you do that for every single character?
I don't know. It's very distracting. Everyone is complaining about all the porn that's being handed out to children in like libraries and schools, but they're sneaking
Mhm.
it in video games.
Exactly. Subconscious.
And that game won Game of the Year.
Despicable.
I don't even know if it did. Did it?
It won a lot of awards. I don't know if it won Game of the Year.
I don't
When did
know.
that come out? Was that Last of Us 2 era where
That
it was just
was,
winning everything?
yeah, I think Hades came out in 2020. Maybe.
Yeah, 2020.
Yeah. Man, I'm
Unfortunate timing.
Yeah, no, I think Last of Us is better than. Well, Hades came out in 2018? Why does it say initial
Really?
release date 2018?
Yeah.
But
Is it early access again?
early access in December
Yeah.
2018, full release in 2020. Okay.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. But yeah, Last of Us 2 is probably better than Hades.
It is pretty good.
I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion. It probably
For the
is.
critics, it's not.
No. And I am a critic in a lot of ways. I'm just like
I'm
Jeff
very
Keighley.
critical of most things.
Yeah. I hated Wicked.
Clickbait.
It's not true. I didn't hate Wicked.
You thought it was okay.
It was okay. Yeah, right in the middle. I think right now on my letterbox, Troll 2 is rated higher than Wicked.
Interesting.
I don't know if that's something I needed to say, but it is a true fact.
Yeah.
Let me see what Troll 2 is rated. It is rated 3.5 stars.
That's surprising.
Why?
I don't know.
It's a great film.
Okay.
It's one of the most entertaining movies I know.
That's good. At least it's not Trolls World Tour. So
No, it's not. This isn't the DreamWorks Troll movie.
oh yeah, Troll 2.
Troll. Did you forget what Troll 2 was?
No,
Oh, okay.
it's a silly bit.
Oh, excuse me. But that's it. Bye bye.